Hi everybody, Barbara Draska here, aka The Deal Diva. You can find me at dealdivawholesale.com and go ahead and sign up for my newsletter there, and I'll give you a bunch of free information, some training on how to start a wholesale business on Amazon and any other kind of Amazon business. Today, I'm interviewing a new friend of mine. First time I've met him here, Emeric Monello. Even though it sounds like an Italian last name, the way that I accented it, he's actually a French citizen. Is that correct, Emeric?
Yes, newly American citizen since October, actually.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Yay.
thank you.
And he is a rockin' and rolling as an Amazon seller. So one of the objections that I hear from some people who are just starting out on Amazon, they're afraid to pick up the phone and call suppliers. You know, they're not quite sure how to have the conversation. And now I'm going to challenge you. Think about that fear, and then add that English is your second language to that fear, right? Well, this gentleman has been doing it successfully for, how long have you been selling on Amazon, Emeric?
Since 2015, roughly.
2015, about the same amount of time as I am. It's 2020 now, folks. So he has been not only doing it successfully, but mega successfully. And I'm going to pass the baton on to Emeric with the mandate that today we're going to talk about some advice for Amazon sellers on how to get over your fear of talking to brand owners. You know, what are some of the things you can do to get more comfortable with it? What are some of the things you can practice saying before you get on the phone? So I'm going to let him take it away.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you for the introduction and for having me here. So, as you said, when I first moved here, I moved to the US in 2011, and I couldn't speak English. So when I started selling on Amazon in 2015, my English wasn't that great either. And I'm sure I have a pretty thick accent for most people right now. So they're gonna see it. The thing that one of the things that helped me be on the phone and talk to brands is to consider these phone calls like learning experiences. And sometimes what I did is actually call brands that are so big that I knew I couldn't close them, because then there is no expectation. The only thing to do is have a discussion with someone about business, about whatever you would ask another brand, or, can I have a price list, or, whatever questions you would ask, and then just see what they say and what kind of questions they ask you and how the discussion goes. And that would allow me to be better prepared for the next conversation. And so the more I was doing it, the more I was getting experience, and the more I was getting comfortable with some questions. So funny thing is, like, I never did any business things in the past. I was a web designer by trade. And so I didn't know all the terms, all the business terms and all this stuff. And so sometimes I was like, okay, I don't know if it's because I don't speak English well, and then I should know it because it's a vocabulary that I should have, or if it's just because it's just jargon that I don't know, I need to learn, right? And I would just ask them on the phone. Like, they would say something, I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. I know it's kind of scary because you're like, oh, they're gonna think I'm an idiot. But actually, I don't care at some point. And so I'm like, I'm just asking because I want to know what the answer is. If they don't want to tell me, they don't tell me. But usually people are very nice by default, and they just tell you, yes, that means this or that means that. And then if I don't get my answer, I can find it usually on Google and stuff like that. But it really helped me to have discussions, business discussions, which is different than the discussion that we're having right now, for example. And really do it over and over and over again. So it's not like one phone call a day. It's like 10, 20 a day, trying to, get there and have different situations, different kind of people, different accents for me, because it was really hard to understand some accents. Dan and Dylan, for example.
like
Like,
the Kentucky kind of,
yeah.
yeah. We're talking about Dan Metters and Dylan Frost. They're actually holding a free wholesale workshop. If you guys are interested in getting a kind of a behind the scenes look of what people who have wholesale businesses like me and Americ, what that looks like, go to freewholesaleworkshop.com and sign up for that. It starts tonight. It runs for about a week. So yeah, so they have like this Midwestern kind of drawl,
Yeah, yeah. So
right?
it's quite difficult for me sometimes to understand them, and even today, um, so sometimes they have a hard time understanding what I'm saying, and I have a hard time understanding what they're saying. So it's yeah, it's kind of funny to be able to learn with all the different accents and all the different industries as well, because they all have different jargon. You're gonna call like a toys company, they're gonna say something different than a grocery company, and even two grocery company are gonna have different terms. Um, and sometimes it's just the company that tries to make it difficult. It's not you, it's not us. It's just the company that decided to make a spreadsheet that makes no sense, and you just have to make sense of it.
I've had
Um,
a couple of those. I've had a
right.
couple of those.
So it's at first it gets scary, and I remember when I first started. But I was following a process, and it really helped me to have a process and something to follow. So,
So you said you did 10 to 20 phone calls a day. How many of them were you actually able to get on the phone?
oh, I mean, you usually get 100% on the phone. It depends on what person you're gonna get on the phone, because 100% of the
Uh,
time usually you get front desk.
who do
So
you ask
then,
for?
I mean, when you get started, usually like the salesperson, sales manager, or whoever can open account, or I would like to purchase your products. How do I go about it? That kind of stuff. It's very basic. There's nothing really weird about it. You don't need to talk to the VP of sales or things like that when you do these very introductory calls when you just start talking with a brand, because it's just to have the contact. Then when you want to pitch or things like that, it's better to talk to VP or someone who has some kind of
Or if
power.
you've been maybe buying them for a little while and you want to work a better deal and you have a little bit of experience of selling their products already, so you can go to them and say, hey, look, we're already buyers. How can we take this conversation and this relationship to the next level? And I know that you're pretty good at you have a special skill set, don't you?
Yeah, nah, I heard.
You wanna clue us in? You wanna give us a secret?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good with listing optimization, and so that's how I was able to help a brand go from like 100,000 a year on Amazon to over 1 million in about a year time.
Holy Christmas!
So yeah, that's because I'm
Very
all in
cool.
all, yes, I did a lot of phone calls and things like this, but it doesn't mean that I'm a good salesperson. So I was never in sales in France either, and then that's not something I'm really good at. But I'm really good at focusing on one thing and then digging deep into something, and that's something I found out because I was making all these phone calls, and I was getting all these suppliers and these product, and I was carrying things, and that allowed me to find my way. I didn't know what my way was until it found me, pretty much.
Okay.
So that's what happened. Found a supplier, and then it was standard supplier like the rest of them. Um, but then I was able to provide more value and dig deeper, and then I realized that I could make more money this way than by trying to get more suppliers, because I wasn't really good at it. So I was able to actually remove all the other products that I was carrying that was less margin than the one I was carrying, and I didn't have unlimited budget at the time, like money. So it's I had to choose where to put my money and what product to buy, and I decided to just go deeper with that one supplier.
Okay, so what I'm hearing, I'm making a lot of notes from this conversation. So just to recap here, because there's some really interesting, like important points that can be applied to any business model. And that would be, first, I hear focus. hyper focus. Don't go off and do 18,000 different things, because then we're dispersing our energy and our skill set, and we're not going deep on anything. By going deep, I mean getting really good at one thing. I hear, are you all familiar with the Pareto's principle, 80-20 rule? So 80% of your income or your success comes from really just 20% of what you're doing. So what Emerick just said, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, I'll get
No
it.
worries.
He got rid of the things that were not doing as well as he would have liked, and he really hyper-focused on that 20% that was just doing really well, and then made it multiple times better by getting really good at listing optimization and some other things as well, but for right now, listing optimization. So what he did was, in a nutshell, maximized an existing relationship with products, with a brand that had products that were doing really well for him. Instead of going off and trying to find a bunch of other brands to bring them up to that level, from what I understand, it sounds like you asked yourself, how can we take what's doing well and blow it up?
Right.
Just make it go crazy good. Is that?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to bring the brand to the maximum potential possible for Amazon, to bring it to the volume that Amazon is bringing, volume of customers.
Yeah.
So we want to be in front of as many eyeballs as possible. Then when you reach the cap, you can move on to either a different product or different brand.
Well, look, I see an opportunity that I'm sure you're already working on capitalizing. Is now you can take this brand. Let's say that, and I don't know what the brand is. I'm just throwing out. Let's say it's in pet. Okay, the pet industry. Then you can get a testimonial from this brand. That they can say, hey, look, this is what he was able to do for us. And you take that in video and text format, and then you can shop that around to other suppliers and brand owners in that niche industry as, hey, he knows his stuff, and he knows his stuff in our niche pet industry. So you could shop that relationship around now to get similar types of brand owners on as suppliers.
Correct. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Congratulations. And you do really well on video. I saw, just want to give you some kudos. Emerick is doing, he did a video helping other Amazon sellers out not too long ago, teaching them a couple of secrets on listing optimization. So thank you for that. And think about this, guys. His second language is English, right? So he did this training for us, and he works with brands in English. So if you're afraid to pick up the phone and all you speak is English, and the person you're speaking to is English, you've already got, you're one step closer than maybe somebody who has some more impediments than you do. So if you're scared to do it, just let that go. Just let that go out the window and pick up the phone anyway. What's the worst that could happen?
Right.
They say no.
Exactly.
They don't take your call. They hang up on you. What's the worst that could happen?
Right.
You're having a bad day. Click.
You're never going to see these people ever again, probably. So, like most of them, when you call and you can't close or things like that, you're never going to see them again. You're never talk to them. It doesn't matter.
And do you hear, and you know what? Rejection is good. I know this sounds kind of upside down, topsy-turvy, but rejection sometimes is good because it helps you waste less time on the brands that just absolutely do not, instead of, why won't you sell to me, banging on their door, the faster they reject you sometimes is
so you can move on,
actually a good thing. And then the other way rejection is good is because if they're getting 100 calls a month from Amazon sellers saying, can I buy your stuff? If you do it in such a way that you don't sound like everybody else, and they say no right out of the gate, they're saying no to everyone else, those 99 others. But you can be that one where you say, hey, look, no, hang on. Yeah, I understand that. And I think you should be saying no to a bunch of Amazon sellers that just, fly by night. That's not what we do. We help brands optimize their Amazon footprint. Now you've got a conversation with somebody who's going to say no to everybody else right out of the gate. So I'm guessing you do some of that.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's value-based. So you don't want to, I believe you shouldn't be just buy and resale. I believe it's value-based and relationship-based. So as much as possible, if you can create that relationship with the supplier and the brand, and then show them that you care about their products and their future on Amazon and outside as well, I think that's what makes the difference.
I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you, can you give us an example of something you might say when you call up to start that conversation? I know we didn't practice this ahead of time. I didn't tell you I was going
Yeah,
to ask you that.
as I said, I'm not the specialist of this, but like it really depends on what my goal is for the day. I mean, um, the first thing is if I'm just trying to get a price list to see if it even makes sense to have a deeper discussion, I'm just gonna go for that and then see, okay, how do I get a price list from you, and just ask for what I need. Because then I'm gonna get the price list, and then the price list is usually gonna be bad, because it's the standard price
Interesting.
list from
Okay.
distributors, or like distributor pricing, or usually it's gonna be bad. If you compare it with directly, like one-to-one with Amazon directly on the listing, it's not gonna make any sense margin wise. So then it's like, is it worth it? Can I get there by negotiating or not? Like if on Amazon, like you're buying and you're already losing 30%, you're never gonna get there,
No.
right? But if you're like making 5% if you from the price list, then you're like, okay, maybe I can get a 10% discount somehow to bring me to 15 and make this like a viable account. So that if you
Yeah.
just run with the number, that's probably what I would say. Then if you want to go deeper, it's probably talk to okay, I'm gonna backtrack a second, but I think usually the better way to do this is calling smaller brands. It doesn't make sense, especially for smaller sellers or people who just get started, or um, who don't have like a lot of capital and experience.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get there by calling Lego and then tell them, hey, I can make your brand great on Amazon. It's
Yeah.
not gonna work. You don't have the capacity to do this.
Right.
But if you call a local brand, even in your city or in your town that sells products, and you say, hey, are you on Amazon? And maybe they're on Amazon, right? And you can help them. Then you can actually take your car and go there and then shake the hand of the owner of the company and tell him that you care. And I think that makes such a difference. Phone is better than I'm gonna say phone is better than email, because it's more personable,
Yeah.
but in person makes such a difference. And
I
so in
agree.
order, I would say email, phone call, Zoom call, like video call,
That's what we're doing here.
like
The
we do
Zoom is
now.
the
And
platform,
then
video platform.
right, and then it's in person,
Yeah.
and you really see a difference with that.
I've actually found two suppliers at local craft fairs. They usually happen more around the Christmas time. So I'll go and just if I see an interesting product, and one of them was a type of ornament, a specific type of ornament, and another one was a wrought iron decor product, and neither of them sold on Amazon nor had any interest in doing that because they're craftspeople. They love to make their product, but they didn't
Right,
want to do that part of it. And they're still suppliers of mine, and I have exclusives on them. And that was face to face at trade shows.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think that's great that you did that.
Well,
And
craft fairs, not really trade shows. They were craft fairs.
yeah, but I mean, it's the same principle. It's like a
Yeah.
business, like a business
Yeah.
event or something.
So I
So
agree.
so yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. I think it's great to do that face to face, and it also helps, but building connections and all that, and it makes people feel. I think it makes people feel less awkward and better. But then to go back to the phone, because that was like kind of the main focus here. It's just business. It's like if you think about what you want before the call, and then that's the only thing you get there. You're like, okay, what do I need today? I would like a price list from that company because I would like to see if I can sell their products. This company exists to sell their products. That's what they do. They make them to sell them.
Yep.
So
Now I like how you set a realistic expectation. Your goal wasn't, I'm going to close every single person I call today is going to let me sell their
that's not
product.
happening. Yeah.
So I love that you set the expectation of today I'm going to get price lists.
Yeah.
Because then you could have some wins, and when you start having these wins and some success, it helps with your confidence level.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then you learn. The more you do it, the more you learn. And there is so many brands. Don't think of them as wasted opportunities, because they're not. They're learning opportunities. When you call something and it doesn't go your way, try to try something new. Try a new approach and see how it goes, and learn from it and take notes and be like, okay, this didn't work, maybe because of this, of that or that, and then try to do better next time.
And taking notes is key. I'm a big note taker, as you can tell, because what happened to me one time was I had a very rude person on the phone tell me there's no way, they're in a rush, and I cycled back around probably a good 4 months later, 4 or 5 months later. I thought I'll try it again. And it turns out that that person had just been fired that day, and they were cleaning out their desk as they're picking up the phone, and I got them at that moment.
Right.
So the next person who had taken their job, and 4 months later they're doing, they're settled into their job. That was the person I got on the phone the second time around. So just because they say no once doesn't mean no forever, because you don't know what's going on the receiving end of that phone call.
For sure.
People
For
could be
sure.
having a bad day, and we're people in the end of it. So we're connecting with other human beings, not some anonymous company.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then there is so many details you can do, like smiling on the phone is very important. And then actually caring for the other person, and you'll see. I mean, it's something that you can feel if the other person wants to talk or not. You don't want to waste their time, but you don't want to be super blunt. Even though, um, like, I'm usually pretty direct in what I want and what I need, because it's business, and that's what we do. But usually, you try to at least be amicable, I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
just be respectful of their time as well, because
Definitely.
they got a lot. You don't know how big their to-do list is. They've got a lot going on. So you're finding a happy medium between making a connection and getting your needs met and being respectful of their time is a little bit of you just have to learn it. It's a skill set, but it can be learned.
Absolutely, yeah. You can learn about their brand too. You can tell them, hey, I love your products, and I would love to, if that's the kind of call you're in, that you can say, I would love to learn more about it. Can you tell me more about your products and what you want to achieve, and that kind of stuff. So
I like looking up their awards. So I'll go to their website ahead of time before contacting them to see if
yeah,
they've won any special mentions for a specific new product or something like that. And then I'll say, hey, I noticed, congratulations. I'll congratulate them on that win for their company. And that could be a way of making a connection with them and having them feel comfortable opening up instead of saying, hi, I'm an Amazon seller. I want to sell your stuff. You're starting from a completely different starting point that makes it about them. And
yeah.
then you can come back to getting your needs met as a seller. Cool. Well, I know that you're busy today, and I'm so glad you were able to take some time and share some of your nuggets with us. Do you have any last minute secrets you'd like to share? Just one, or encouragement or inspiration for other Amazon sellers who maybe haven't started with wholesale yet?
I mean, okay, so I think the most important thing is taking action.
Yeah.
If you take action, that's the only way you're going to be able to move forward. So it's nice to prepare, and but taking action is going to really trumps everything. It's take action. Maybe you fail, and then if you fail, try to fail for cheap. But it's what it is. It's like you're going to be learning so much more by taking action, and that's how I got started, and I don't regret it 1 minute. And I had some blows and some things that didn't work out, and I lost some money sometimes,
Yeah.
and when it happens, you think it's the end of the world, but it's definitely not, and it's just a stepping stone to the next level for yourself and your company. So just put yourself out there, and then just take action and get stuff done.
And for you perfectionists on this call who like to overanalyze everything and have all the notes in front of you, but then you don't take that step, I encourage you to take imperfect action. So your action doesn't have to be everything is just perfectly, just take the action, fall on your face a couple of times, get back up, and keep moving forward towards success. Thank you so much, Aymeric Ranello. My name is Barbara Drazga with DealDivaWholesale.com. Go to DealDivaWholesale.com. I actually have a cool article up there if you're an introvert like many sellers, myself included, I wrote an article on how we can use our introvert tendencies as an edge when we have these conversations with brand owners, believe it or not. So you can go check out that article on DEALDIVA wholesale.com. And if you like this recording or this video we did, this interview, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for being with us today, and keep rocking and rolling. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. You too. Thank you
Thanks,
for
Avery.
having me. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.